Welcome back to Poppy's Garage. We're going to talk about the Traxxas Stampede today and get into the Trailfinder too, what I've done to it recently. What I did on my Stampede, since this is it's old, I got this truck when they first brought the Stampede out, so I don't know, it's been a decade or probably a little bit more. What I did, because I kept blowing the front end apart, so I went and got some RPM parts for it. I got the bulkhead, which is one of the weak links, and then the actual chassis is a weak link also, but I'm not going to deal with that right now. I got a new bumper, which hopefully will protect it a little bit. And then if you see here, I got the caster blocks and then the actual bearing carriers, and then I rebuilt the whole transmission and differential. I put new bearings throughout. I pulled the Valenian motor apart and put new bearings in it and a new sleeve. And then I got some Traxxas Banditos. These are stadium truck tires, but I think they're going to do a lot better on the asphalt. I took it for a test drive yesterday and it seemed to perform really good. I'm still only running the nickel metal battery, the 8.4 volt. I'm probably going to go ahead and get a 3S lithium battery in the charger, since I don't have anything for that, but I actually put my brother's lithium battery in here, and it was incredible on how fast and how much power it has. I would say 45 plus, but this is my grandson's favorite truck, so when I get this out, they just giggle and laugh. It's pretty fun to watch their facial expressions on it. And that's pretty much what I did on that one. The transmission and the differential, they're really not that hard to rebuild. You just got to make sure that when you pull it apart, everything's real clean when you go back together. I use silicone grease instead of the normal marine grease that I used on all my other ones. It seems to hold up probably a little bit better. And that's pretty much it on that one. And then I finally got the Trailfinder 2 finished. Guess I probably need to paint the side trim that goes down the side, but if you notice, I actually cut out the window on the driver's side, which was interesting. And my wife got these for me for Christmas. They're Chevy emblems that actually stick out. They're pretty cool. I got my steel rock sliders in. I just went with the regular ones instead of the Marlin crawler ones, because they stick out a little bit farther back here. And then my brother gave me a gas tank for the back. I wanted to mount it a little lower, but can't get the tailgate open to be able to put the rear body clips in. And then if you notice in the back, my brother actually suggested that I move my shock since it was hitting the leaf springs, and I put it right in between two of the mounting points for the body braces, and it seems to work a lot better. You see where it's at. I've got license plates on order, which they're going to say Poppies on them. And I'm going to use the old style Missouri plates. Hopefully that's the way they'll come in. I put a new servo in it. I put the Twister Ultimate, which is like 250, pretty close, at 6 volts on inch ounces. And up here on the bench, when I turn it on, it turns the wheels now, which is good. that's pretty much it. I did the white stripe down the side. The back is okay. I think the angle's probably a little bit off. I think I probably should have brung this stripe up to about here. I painted the roof on both of them. I think that's pretty cool. I really like the orange peel effect, so I really didn't sand it down any to make it smoother. I probably should have, but I really didn't want to get into that much detail on it. I did a little bit of trim, aluminum trim. I used silver paint for it. It turned out pretty good. I did the actual gasket around the top to make it look like an actual rubber gasket. I think that's pretty much all that I'm going to do on this one. I think it turned out really good, considering I'm not very good at painting. I did the back also. I think it turned out pretty good. That's pretty much it on that one. And I took the axle took all the weights off the bottom of it. I took the diff covers off of it. So basically it's back to being stock. The Trailfinder weighs, 9 pounds, 9 ounces, so it's pretty heavy. And this one, the only thing I've got on there now is the shock towers and a couple frame braces and new shocks. On the back, what I did is I cut this bar from there to there off in the back on both sides. Gives me a little bit better, departure angle. And then in the front, I did the same. I cut the bar out, and I couldn't believe how much it changed the geometry of the truck. For Christmas, my wife got me this little shovel and a little high lift jack, which is really cool. Gives me a little bit more weight on the back, a little bit more top heavy, but that's okay. That's pretty much it that I've done on this one. I cut the body up just a little bit on the back and in the front. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet in the back, because if you look, right here is where the frame actually stops. And so it's got that much room. So I don't know if I'm going to move the body post to the front, up here just in front of the seat. And then I thought about actually cutting the back completely off, and then cutting this section out and moving it forward. And I'm probably going to do it like rat rod style, where I'm just going to drill holes and put zip ties in it, which is going to look really funky, but I'm going for, competition style, trailing. I'm trying to keep up with Barrett Brothers, TRX4, which is very challenging since he put those big monster tires on there. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm probably going to do a few videos of the Trailfinder just running down the creek bed, and then I'm going to get some good videos of this one actually doing some pretty extreme rock crawling. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Poppy's Garage. And like, subscribe, leave me some comments, and I will see you on the next video.